Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is fear ruins old men's lives. Well, I'm happier, but the world is set up to try to keep us men unhappy, and women too. But it's a Happier Man channel, so I look at everything through a man's eyes. And what do I mean by fear ruining an old man's life? And well, hear me out. My mom, one of my mom's neighbors, he's 90 years old, and he was a very vigorous man. I've only known him the last 7-8 years, kind of after my dad died and after his wife died. Those two became friends, just friends, and neighbors, and they kind of help each other with a few things here and there. And my mom's got a lot of these widows and widowers where she lives, and she's become friends with, and it's very nice for her and very nice for them. But getting back to the fellow, he's 90, been from all accounts, a very, very great life, a successful businessman. Sounded like he had a great marriage with his wife. He absolutely sounds like he just adored. He's got children that he gets along well with, and adult children, and a lot of grandkids, and he's got a beautiful home out in the country, and he lived a long, businessman, so he made a lot of money. He was very successful, and he was kind of an outdoorsman. I think, elk, deer hunting, bow hunting, elk hunting, bear hunting, all kinds of man stuff, right? Adventure, and he worked all this adventure in, along with making a great income and doing other man stuff, wood carving and that kind of thing. And anyway, last year, every year it sounded like for many, many, many years, he has this special trip in the fall of the year out west to go elk hunting with. He must go with, I don't know if he goes with family or friends or whatever. And he is planning on going this year. Was planning on it. Last year, of course, was last year, and we all know what happened last year and everything. He decided not to do anything last year, although you would, hunting, you're out in the open. It would seem like that wouldn't be an issue, but he did not go last year. And so he's really looking forward to going this year. And this is where the fear comes in, right? So this year, he hurts his back, so he's doctoring for the back. And in the meanwhile, some other heart problem pops up, and now he's doctoring more. And it looks like from the outside that there's going to be no way in the world he's going to be able to go halfway across the country out into the deep mountains and chase and go elk hunting. To me, there's probably no way in the world his family is going to allow him something to do that he loves with his health issues. So the fear last year ruined his life, right? Looking forward to it this year, his health problems won't allow it. The fear last year. When you're in 80s, when you're 90, there's not a lot of time to screw around waiting to do the things you want to do. And this applies to all of us at whatever age you're at. There's not a lot of time left to screw around not doing the things you want to do because of fear. Because of the fear. It's sad, really. It's sad. It's sad, and it's, of course, I look at a life like his and say, man, what do you don't really have anything to complain about. Sounds like you had a great marriage to a wonderful woman who treated you well. I didn't have that. You made a lot of money. live in a beautiful home. I struggled most of my life, and it's only now where I'm starting to work my way out of those problems. Right? You've been hunting and adventurous. Yeah, most of my life I didn't have a lot of adventure, and then the times I had adventure, those were the grandest, best, wonderful, special, spectacular times of my life. So he's had a great life, but the fear last year, right? The fear didn't allow him to continue to have that great life that he had enjoyed all of this time. Like when you're 88, 89 years old, what makes you think that you're going to be living that much longer? The fear of death is kind of a ridiculous fear. The more you think about the fear of death, the less sense it makes. What you want to do is get so busy living and having so much fun and so much adventure and making sure your whatever responsibilities you have, you're taking care of them. You're tying up the loose ends. You're keeping your affairs in order all the time, because that way, when the death comes pounding for you, it's fine. It's fine. Don't have the fear. Don't have the fear. My mom has another fellow he's the same age as my mom, about 81, and the same age as my dad. It was one of my dad's college buddies, a really good friend, all from college on. Very, very, very nice man. Very nice. He gave a great little talk at my dad's funeral that I cherish. But now the word, he's got the stage 4 liver cancer. Ooh, stage 4. If you know anything about cancer, 4 is bad. 1 is the lowest, 2, 3, 4. Stage 4 liver cancer. Ooh. And now my mom told me he's started on the chemotherapy. And I'm thinking, why? Why would you put yourself through that ordeal? Why would you put yourself through that ordeal? That's going to make your already limited or life that you're living now. You got the diagnosis. You're in pain. That's going to make that poor life that you're starting to have even worse. The fear is pushing him to get the chemotherapy. I'm suggesting that when you're a little bit younger, that you get in your mind firmly what kind of cancer treatment you're going to deal with, what kind you're going to have, and which kind you're not going to have. Because from my eyes, looking in at chemotherapy, I don't know that it doesn't seem like it's worth it. It makes your already pretty bad life even worse. That's what happened to my dad, and I'll never forget that last bit of time. See, what happens with the chemo, it takes a tremendous amount out of you, and by the time you start this chemo, you're already sick, you're already frail, you're already feeling terrible, right? They don't start it chemotherapy when you're fine and healthy. You start it when you're sick and dying, right? So your immune system is gonna be compromised. You're gonna be really run down and weak. So it's sad, really. So you're gonna start this, and it's gonna make you even more run down and even more weak. And you're gonna spend like all your time is going to be spent either going to the doctor, trying to get there, at the doctor's office, going through all this treatment and all these tests. It isn't just like you go in there for 5 minutes. It's usually going to be an all-day ordeal that they're going to put you through. Then you're going to be exhausted if you can even get home. When you're at home, you're going to be on all these other medications, and you're going to spend most of your time sleeping in a state of, you're going to be sleeping, napping, and you're not going to sleep that well. It's not like you're going to sleep through the night. You're going to be getting up to go to the bathroom multiple times at night. So you're going to be tired all day, napping between trips to the bathroom. Your bowels are going to be in an uproar. You're going to be peeing all the time. You won't feel like eating anything because your stomach's going to be upset. The foods you eat, they're just going to go through you. And then you might, it might take a couple of days to recover from all this exertion to get to the chemo appointment. And then by the time you feel good enough to go again for maybe a few hours, you got to do this all over again. And you do that until you meet your maker. So you're going to meet your maker anyway. You're going to die. So why bother with the chemo? The fear ruining another old man's life. The fear. My dad was very, very afraid. And this happens, if you notice, old people, they spend most of their time in a state of fear. And it's sad. And I don't know if I can get through to any old people, right? Their minds are made up, but maybe I can get through to some of us guys who aren't quite that old yet, to maybe make your plans when you're a little bit of a younger man, and have those plans firmly in your mind, what you're going to do when the time comes, and what you're not going to do. Because the fear is going to ruin your life, and you don't want that. The whole reason for your life is for you to enjoy. So the fear, you can't let the fear ruin your life. You've got to somehow work your way up to a more positive emotion than fear. So, I'm sorry for these men living their lives in fear, even though they've lived. And the thing of it is, all three of these guys, my dad and the two fellows that I talked about, they lived all their lives in a non-fear state. They lived their life the way they lived them. They all had great lives, right? They've all had great lives. Why don't you, as an old man, just continue to live that great life with an absence of fear and a matter of calm that, I'm sick, I'm frail, I'm dying, I'm old. It's time. It's time. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell those old men anything. Probably not. This is my way of communicating to people, and it's my way of keeping track of this thing for myself. I talk smart now. I'm in my 50s. I'm healthy. I'm strong. Everything is fine. Everything is great. Never been happier. But my time will come too, right? My time will come too, and I want to have this for the record that I don't want to spend my last days doctoring and dealing with that. I want to do other things. So give that sad idea, a little thought. Don't give in to the fear. Don't let fear ruin your life. Start making your plans. Do a little bit of research on these things beforehand when you have some time. When I do the research on these cancer treatments, they don't look that promising. So do your own research on all that, please, and don't let fear ruin your life. All for now.